Okay, so it is cosine, and then how do you set up the equation? We're right in the middle of the notes here because I forgot to start taping, but we're okay. It's all review. And then what would you do to solve for that? Multiply both sides by 17. But I do want to cover this because it is something you're supposed to know for Tuesday. This is 60. So what does this angle measure right here, everybody? 30. This is the hypotenuse. So what should he get when he does the cosine of 60 equals x over 17? What should he get as an answer for x? Anyway, in 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, nothing. What happened? All right. Remember the hypotenuse in a 30, 60, 90 is, try to remember what side it is. And then what does that mean? The 30-degree side has to be in relation to that. By the way, it is a decimal, I would like. So let's try that again. 3, 2, 1, go. 8.5, half of 17. All right. And then this would be 8.5 root 3. All right. And again, this is pure memorization. You will either remember it or not. And this is going to be on your test Tuesday. This is probably what I'm the most worried about, toggling in those questions, being able to find those sides. So I think that's what I'm going to do tomorrow, but also incorporate SOHCAHTOA with these special triangles and why we end up getting what we get on that. But anyway, done with this. Okay, then anyone else that was here, I had someone do this one as a review, and then we just did a little discussion on these. The main point of this is two things. We did introduce those yesterday. I don't think I'll use those tomorrow. I don't think these end up on our quiz Tuesday, though. That's where we're kind of like leaking into the next stuff. And then this will not be on the test, knowing this, but arctan is the same as inverse tan. So that's just for your knowledge for the future. And that's what that point of this was. Look at number 7 being D. Inverse tan is arctan. Just another math thing. All right. Now, on your homework, I did, in the past when I made this worksheet, I did word problems with pictures and word problems without. So hopefully the ones with pictures, you kind of cover it. You do read the question and try to think about what the picture looks like, then uncover it. Say, okay, that's what I thought. Because honestly, I know what happens. When you have a word problem with a picture drawn, some people don't even read the word problem. Do you really need to read the word problem? What are we solving for? What's the variable? 3, 2, 1, go. Question mark. I don't need to read this question. That's not the point. On your test, quiz, quizam, tiz, whatever you want to call it, no drawings will be provided. So you will have to know how to draw the picture from the reading. So it is a little bit, I always find this to be a reading test, and it's always crazy what students come up with some of their drawings. I think it's a reading issue. All right, a couple things to look at here. Rennie, the leash is 12 feet long. I don't know if your dog is like mine. That leash is always like this. That dog is always trying to get ahead. Anyone walk their dog? No one walked their, isn't it like, always trying to be in the lead? All right, but there's the 12. And then what is the angle form? Oh, wait, the leash and is attached to the dog 10 feet horizontally from Rennie's hands. That means you have to drop a right angle, and then it's actually like 10 feet from her feet. And that's usually something that is also said on that. All right, what is the angle formed with the leash in the ground? Okay, so just real quick, and I'm making students answer stuff. So student number 20, I forgot where we already at, 24. 1, 2, 0, 4, 3, 2. Is that Nor? Nor, you're on the video. Okay, what trig function would you use? Nor? Oh, yeah, okay. What was that? Did someone throw something at me? I heard something in the corner, like bouncing around. Did you just throw? Who did that? All right. Could have heard I swear I heard like a ball falling around in here. Nor, you're getting all this extra time. I think I was almost assaulted. So Nor, cosine. Everyone's looking around. Who did it? Cosine of who? Question mark. We use that as a variable, and that equals what? And then I had a real problem with this last hour. How do I solve for question mark? Student couldn't get it. Inverse. So remember yesterday, the solving triangle guy? He wrote his equation directly like this. It's one or the other. So in word problems, it's picture, equation, answer. That's all I need. So you can choose either one of these two to write down. Give me something though. And then the final answer, whatever, you can type on your calculator. All right, spend a minute to try to make your own drawing on this. Now I think there should be a little bit of an added word to this. But hopefully you put everything. No, I think it's good. Now that I look at it again. The ramp touches the ground 12 feet from the back of the truck. The height of the ramp is 2.5 feet. That means it's really the height of the truck, really. It's the height of the truck where the ramp hits, to get the stuff into the truck. Probably giving too much. I should shut up now. All right, let's get this, dude. You better get going on this picture, student number 14. I don't know why I can't count today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Who's Afa? Come to school. All right, isn't that scary when you're not at school and I'm making a video? And all right, 9. Sorry, Ryan. Huzaifa made you have to go now. Okay, so Ryan, did you get? I'm gonna cheat. No, I don't want to cheat. Did you get this drawing? Okay, I took 3 years of art. Here we go. All right, truck. Impress the students here. Huh? And then here's the wheels. Oh, they make that one bigger. All right, and then here's the ramp. Well, let's make the wheels bigger. So the ramp has some. Oh, for the love of dog, this is embarrassing. All right, so let's make the wheels like really big. It's like a monster truck. And then let's make the ramp a different color for perspective. All right. And then did you put 2.5 here, Ryan? Yeah, sure. All right. And then what's the other one? 12, correct? And then this is the angle in question, which we'll call X. Is that what you got for a drawing? All right. So then what trig? Perfect. Thank you. What's the trig function then? Tell me just write one equation. What would you write? Okay, that's what I usually do too. Tan of X equals. Okay, and all kidding aside, this is all you got to do on those. These are not really a big deal. So once you get the drawing, it's super simple to solve. And then you inverse tan and you get your answer. And you can do that on your calculator. All right, this is where you really need me. Okay, and actually a compliment to the CAT students. I don't know if I want to tell them, though. I don't want them to get a big head. But angle of elevation and angle of depression, always a problem. All right. So here's our next thing. And if you read ahead in the homework, you even asked yesterday, what's an angle of depression? And what did I tell you? You don't remember? It was a good joke. A sad angle. The sad angle, remember? Thank you. I told it right to her, but All right. So angle of elevation and depression. Okay, the big word is horizontal. And I guess I have to turn this, but don't make sure no students can be seen in this video. Is there any students in the video? Oh no, Ashley, you just got in the video there. You can sue me now. Go ahead. I'm loaded. You've heard about teachers and all the money they make. All right. Anyway, okay. So angle of elevate. To elevate means to go what? 3, 2, 1, go up. So I look up, but how many sides is this? How many sides is this? It's a simple question. How many sides is this? 3, 2, 1, 1. Does that make an angle? Yes or no? No. Okay, no, you can't just have one side. Sorry, but no, that's not a thing. So I need a second side. So here it is. It's very simple, and actually nobody screws up angle of elevation. Nobody. It's the difference between looking horizontally out and then up. It's this angular displacement compared to looking straight out to up. That's the difference, between looking not elevated to elevated. And no one messes that up. And I don't understand why the next thing's a problem. So what do you think angle of depression is? Looking, 3, 2, 1, go, down. So, but how many sides is this? Yet again, it is only one. And I need a second one. Someone said 2 again. I only have one arm over here. All right. So what's an angle of depression? Same thing. The difference between looking straight out and down, this angular difference here, this little thing here. Here's what happens with angle of depression, except for my students this year in CAT. Every student in the past, like 70% of the students get this wrong because they look down and they think the angle of depression is compared to the body, that this is the angle right here. And that is completely and totally wrong. And I will tell you right now, I will get the red pen of vengeance and take 2 points off for anyone that puts the angle of depression right here. Because it is from out here to down, this angle right here. And I'll give you another thing that can actually help you on this. So here we go. Here's Mr. Samuelis. Look at, he inserted himself in the notes. See his face? So there's Mr. Samuelis, angle of elevation looking up at a bird. You want to draw Mr. Samuelis real quick? I'll give you a minute. This is really why I should have printed the notes, so then you'd have a picture of Mr. S to take home. And then here's an angle of depression. Mr. Samuelis on a cliff, looking down to a boat. Now, the reason I did this is because back in the day, did some of your notes have pictures of students last year? Did I ask you that? Yeah, so our Carnegie book, we would have to print the notes, and there was always a picture of a student. Well, I made these notes, and I'm like, well, if there's pictures of students, I want to be on the notes. So that's why I did that, the good old Carnegie notes from back. I can't believe I'm even mentioning that program or that book series. But anyway, that's why I inserted myself in the notes. Okay. So I've got to give everyone a minute to get my face right there. Don't forget the goatee. And then, okay, so then here's a thing that I cut out, and that's what you've seen before. I cut this out of our CAT book. I absolutely am in love with the CAT book that we teach out of for trigonometry. It's like this thick. It's just gets right to the point and all the stuff. Very, very clear, concise. What's the word that I like? The math word. Getting things done to the point. Efficient. Efficiency, I think, is what math should be teaching. So on and so forth. But be careful when interpreting the angle of depression. Both the angle of elevation and depression are differentiated by the horizontal line of sight. And that's what screwed up. Oh, it makes me so angry. So I'll tell you why my CAT students, I don't know why, but it clicked this year. Literally just graded their test yesterday, finished off that they took on Monday. Yeah, that's true. And then I put them in the grade book. So we got to do our ceremony with them. But it was the best year ever on the angle of depression because I think they really took this next part to hearts. So here's one more attack on understanding angle of elevation and depression. And this is literally out of that book. No, I think I stole this picture off the internet. I don't think this was in our book from back in the day. Looking at the dog-bird picture, what can you conclude about the relationship between an angle of elevation and depression? And then again, in the spirit of when we used to make students write sentences, I started it off. Okay, class, the angle of elevation and the angle of depression, what's the relationship? Well, let's look at this real quick. Let's move in. And I did have actually someone answer this last hour. This is why I pulled people off the calculator, because kids don't answer questions anymore. When you ask, can someone tell me why? So can someone tell me why the angle of depression from the bird to the dog is equal to the angle of elevation from the dog to the bird? Why? It actually is a previous concept that we taught second or third day of this semester. I want the correct term.
If they're bi-level or parallel, so it should be alternate exterior.
Oh, you were so close. It's not alternate exterior, it's what? Alternate interior. And actually, you gave me the whole proof. The one thing I didn't hear is the word transversal. Did you say transversal? That's a weird math word. So the real proof is when two lines are parallel, or if, let's do if then, if two lines are parallel and cut by a transversal, then the alternate interior angles will be congruent. That's the full, and I'm not writing all that. All right, that's my, I told you, Sammy Samuels is struggling in geometry. First of all, it's geometry with a lot of proofs. The class is reverse taught. You know what that means? She's supposed to learn on her own and then go to class with questions, which is very high. She hates it. She can't stand it. But they have to be really specific on their writing of proofs. So the angle of elevation and angle of depression are congruent, and we're just going to shorthand it because they are alternate interior angles. And then any geometry sticklers out there, feel free to turn me into the math police for not writing the full proof on this, saying that the transversal cuts two parallel lines. Alternate interior angles. I said it. I said the transversal thing and all that other stuff. This is how my CAT students, I actually literally have proof of this. On the angle depression question on the test, almost everybody, I would say almost everybody, there was only a handful, changed the angle of depression question into an angle of elevation. So here's what I'm saying. You have a question, the angle of depression from a bird to a dog is 30 degrees. My CAT students changed it to the angle of elevation from dog to the bird is 30 degrees. Did you hear what I just said there? Because almost nobody screws up angle of elevations. I don't think I've ever seen a student screw up where to put an angle of elevation. It's on the ground, it's right here, that makes sense. 70% before, they would put the angle of depression right here, right in this spot, and I will take 2 points off with the red pen of vengeance if you do that, because it's the one concept today, the one and only one that you have to really lock in. Alrighty then. All right, I'm going to get my last student of the day. So you go ahead and try to draw this successfully, and I'll show you what I got. Who's the lucky student that gets to finish off the notes? Nice. Yes. I love it. I'll give you a hint who this student is. They don't bring their calculator. Oh, that narrows it down to 5. This second hour, they're rentals of calculators and not bringing your stuff. What are you looking over there for? You're a non-calculator bringer sometimes. Oh, I got mine. It's in my bag, all sealed up. Okay, so Jameson. All right, a lot of people guessed they were pointing at you. All right. Did you? I got to freeze this because I don't want to give away too much, and I don't want to feel it. I'm tired from drawing. I've already did that awesome truck, and I don't want to have to do it again. Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? I'm frozen up there, right? Good. Okay, so Jameson, you're done with your picture, right? Okay. All right. Did you get something like this? Either or. I have 2 triangles drawn, connected in a rectangle. I don't know if saying connected in a rectangle is necessarily correct either. Do you have 500 as the straight distance from the ship to the boat thing, the submarine? And then do you either have this 40 here or this 40 here? Okay, you got to switch that. All right, get that taken care of right now. So you messed up the angle depression on your first try. But here's what I mean. This is what CAT students did. Angle of depression from boat to submarine, stop. Let's make it angle of elevation from submarine to boat. So 70% of my CAT students on that test, so these are, mess with the numbers a little bit, but they would make it an angle of elevation question because it's hard to screw that up. If you put 40 here, you're gone. All right, and that's all I can tell you. All right, you make the same mistake that those students make. The one big point I'm trying to make today, don't make that mistake. Okay, with that being said, now that you got this fixed, then it does say how deep. So if you did the angle of depression, how deep's over here? Or how deep is over here if you did angle of elevation. So it is a rectangle that connects these two equal triangles, really. All right, Jameson, what's the trig that you would use then? Sine, cosine, or tangent? Because once you get the drawing, it's easy. I hope. Uh-oh, we're still looking up this stuff. You should always write SOHCAHTOA on your paper and then really be able to recognize this quick. Okay, we'll break it down here. What side is this? All the way across. It's sine. All right, so set up the equation. Tell me what it is, and then we'll be done for the day.
It would be the x over the 500
Equals, I'm a little nervous.
equals sine 40.
There we go. All right, so we got through that there. And then what would you do both sides to solve?
Divided by the sine 40.
Oh, no. Okay, so I got to get x by itself, so divided by 500. How do I undo that? Multiply both sides by 500. Okay, so you're thinking about something else, the old switcheroo there. The variable is not on the bottom, so that would be a division. I'm sorry, multiplication of 500 on both sides. All right, multiply both sides by 500, and then you can get your answer. All right, so that's it.